Alia's heart pounded fiercely as she hurried through the wind-whipped yard, the night pressing down like a heavy shroud. The old wooden house loomed ahead, its weathered boards creaking softly in the gusts. She reached the familiar iron gate, its paint chipped and rusted, the hinges groaning with age. Suddenly, the gate swung open on its own, shrieking with a sharp metallic cry that echoed through the stillness. Alia froze, a chill running down her spine, but she forced herself to step forward. Lightning split the sky, casting a brief harsh light that revealed a dark, shadowy figure standing just behind the gate. In the blink of an eye, the silhouette vanished as the light died away. Alia's breath caught in her throat. She darted inside, slamming the door shut behind her. Before she could even reach for the lock, a violent pounding knock thundered from outside, rattling the doorframe. Suddenly, the house was plunged into complete darkness as the lights flickered and died. In the suffocating silence that followed, Alia heard the unmistakable sound of nails scraping slowly across the wooden walls, circling her like a predator. Heavy, ragged breathing filled the air, as if something unseen pressed dangerously close. Alia's heart hammered in terror. This gate didn't want her to leave. Tonight, the house was holding her captive, and escape was no longer an option. The living room is shrouded in darkness, broken only by the trembling glow of a single candle Alia just lit. As she walks past the mantel, the camera slowly pans across a row of family photos. Their faces, her parents, her brother, even herself, are blackened, melted, as if scorched by invisible flames licking at the edges. Panic tightens in Alia's chest, her breath catching in her throat. She blinks, heart pounding wildly. Suddenly, the photos are perfectly normal again, their smiling faces untouched, as if nothing had happened. Alia gasps, unsure if she's losing her mind or if something far more sinister is at play. The candle's flame flickers erratically, casting long, restless shadows that seem to crawl along the walls. From behind the candle, a shadow stretches, growing into the unmistakable shape of a human head, its outline wavering like smoke. It leans closer, its voice a chilling whisper that sends shivers down her spine. "Why are you home?" The candle sways violently, as if disturbed by an unseen breath, threatening to go out. Alia's eyes dart to the mirror above the fireplace. Her own reflection stares back. But the face is wrong. A shinny, unnatural smile splits her lips, even though her own mouth is frozen in fear. The room fills with layered whispers, voices echoing from within the walls, overlapping and twisting into unintelligible secrets. The air grows thick with tension as the past and present collide, revealing that some family secrets burn just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. Alia's footsteps echoed down the narrow hallway, the dim light barely illuminating the warped floorboards beneath her feet. Each step she took was shadowed by a heavier, slower thud that seemed to follow just behind her, growing louder with every moment. She hesitated, glancing nervously over her shoulder, but the corridor remained empty. The doors on either side left slightly ajar, like watchful, silent eyes waiting in the darkness. Suddenly, with a violent slam, one of the doors crashed shut with a deafening bang, the force rattling the walls and making the camera tremble violently. Alia's breath caught in her throat, her heart pounding wildly. She reached out with a trembling hand for the handle, trying desperately to force the door back open. Inch by inch, the door creaked open, revealing only impenetrable darkness within. Without warning, a pale, emaciated hand shot out from the shadows, clawing desperately at her leg. Alia recoiled in terror, her sharp gasp piercing the heavy silence as the hand retreated just as quickly as it had appeared. The door slammed shut again on its own, this time accompanied by a guttural scrape of nails dragging slowly across the floor. Heart racing and mind reeling, Alia backed away, overwhelmed by the chilling presence she had just encountered in the haunted hallway. Imagine waking up before dawn, the world outside still cloaked in deep silence. Alia's room is barely lit, the old bulbs above flickering weakly as if struggling to stay alive. At the center, a wooden rocking chair creaks, moving faster than any breeze could explain, as if pushed by unseen hands. On it sits a broken doll, its porcelain face cracked and torn, one glassy eye rolling restlessly in its socket, searching the darkness. The camera slowly zooms in, the tension in the air thickening with every creak. Suddenly, the doll's head twists a full 180 degrees, defying all logic and bone structure, and a chilling child's voice whispers, "She's mad you came home." The words hang heavy in the air, cold and suffocating. One by one, the lights above shatter with sharp, echoing pops, plunging the room into complete, suffocating darkness. The only sounds now are the frantic creaks of the rocking chair and the so deliberate footsteps approaching, growing louder, closer, until they're right beside you. Then a woman's scream erupts, raw and agonizing, piercing the blackness so close it feels like it's inside your own ear. The terror is real, palpable, and inescapable. Would you dare stay another minute? The kitchen was swallowed in darkness, save for the refrigerator's flickering light casting ghostly shapes on the walls. Alia stepped inside, her breath catching as she noticed a figure, a woman with long, tangled hair, crawling across the cold tile floor. The woman's movements were wrong, jagged and unnatural, limbs contorting at impossible angles. Suddenly, the crawling stopped. The woman's head twisted with a sickening snap, her jaw unhinging and dangling as if she were a broken doll. Her lifeless eyes darted, locking onto Alia with unnatural speed. Alia froze, the air thick with dread. Then, in a voice that seemed to echo from two throats at once, the woman whispered, "I've been waiting for you to come home for so long." The words sent a chill down Alia's spine, but before she could move, the kitchen mirror cracked violently, shards trembling as if something inside had shattered. The only sounds were the sharp snap of joints and the gritty scrape of fingernails across the floor as the woman began to crawl toward Alia once more. Alia's heart pounded. She realized she was not alone and never had been. Imagine the stench of rot as Alia steps cautiously into the shadowy back cellar, her flashlight flickering weakly over ancient, dust-covered shelves. There, wedged behind a crumbling, decayed cupboard, she discovers a diary, its leather cover torn, pages soaked in dark, dried blood. Before her trembling hands can turn a fragile page, the diary suddenly flutters open on its own, as if guided by an unseen force. Scrawled in shaky, desperate handwriting, a chilling message seeps into her mind. All the girls in this house disappeared overnight, including me. Suddenly, every pile of forgotten junk topples with a deafening crash, as if invisible hands shove them forward, blocking any chance of escape. Alia's breath catches in her throat. From behind the cupboard, two unnaturally white hands creep slowly into view, their fingers impossibly long and twisted. Then, a woman's face emerges, pale and hollow, with gaping black holes where her eyes should be. The air thickens with the echo of laughter. Multiple voices, all female, cackling from every shadowed corner. The woman lunges toward Alia, moving with unnatural, terrifying speed, as the walls reverberate with the sound of slamming doors and ghostly mirth. Alia's scream is swallowed by the suffocating darkness. Imagine standing in your living room, every light blazing just a little too bright, the world feeling off-kilter and unreal. Alia exhales slowly, convinced the nightmare has finally ended. But as she glances out the window, her heart freezes. Her reflection remains perfectly still, refusing to mimic her slightest movement. Then it slowly stretches its lips into a chilling, unnatural smile that sends a shiver down her spine. Alia's breath catches in her throat. The reflection nods deliberately, as if signaling that the moment has come. Suddenly it lunges forward, shattering the fragile barrier between worlds with a deafening crash of breaking glass. Cold, inhuman fingers clamp tightly around Alia's neck, dragging her through the window into the darkness beyond. The room falls silent, save for the fading echo of glass shattering. The lights, still too bright and unnatural, continue to blaze on. On the table, a new family photo now sits. Alia is there, but her eyes are pitch black, and her mouth twists into a monstrous, inhuman grin. The air grows thick with something unspoken, as if the living room itself is holding its breath. And just like that, everything has changed. Forever.